it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today we are talking fitness and health update. I decided I'm going to bring back the pillow talk videos, pillow chat videos, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be Peloton and health related stuff. It will be partially like my journey and health related stuff, and also part Peloton. We'll just talk Peloton news and updates and classes I've been liking, classes that are on my to-do list or wish list, whatever you want to call it, bookmarked things, and then challenges surrounding that in the Facebook Peloton world. So that's going to be what these videos are typically going to be about. But today is mostly just going to be like talking about my journey. I don't know that I've posted one of these in a really long time, and I've had a major setback. Disclaimer, this video is going to be talking about weight and eating habits and calorie tracking. I may use some not friendly language, so definitely this is not a kid-friendly video, and definitely if you are triggered or sensitive to that type of talks, definitely this is not the video for you. I do not do any sort of body shaming or any type of thing like that, but I definitely do talk numbers and talk about tracking. So make sure you keep that in mind and click out of this video if you don't want to discuss things like that or you don't want to hear things like that. But I definitely might drop some F-bombs in this video as well. I do really censor some of those things, but it's still just not kid-friendly, and definitely if you're sensitive to certain things, this isn't the video for you. So there's the disclaimer. We're gonna go ahead and hop into the video now. I really just thought I was doing really good. I got my weight almost down to where I really wanted to be, and then I stopped tracking as closely, and then I ate a little bit more, snacked a little bit more, and slowly but surely got back up. And it's just kind of shocking how quickly that can happen when you don't really pay attention. Like, yeah, I was still working out some. I wasn't working out to the extent I used to, but I really just wasn't on top of it, wasn't keeping track of things, and it wasn't a high priority. It was just like getting through life and thinking, yeah, I've got it. Okay, I'm kind of putting it on the back burner, and that totally doesn't work for me. I realized if I'm going to continue to meet goals and do some body recomp, I've got to really stay on top of things and be mindful of everything, not just get really relaxed about it. And there are a couple of things that go into that. I took a lot of notes for this video because I had lots of things to say about it, because this is a video I didn't want to have to make. I didn't want to have to sit down and be like, you know, I kind of been slacking and I went back up in weight versus the trend is supposed to be going down. But since it is a lifelong journey, I know that there are going to be these ups and downs and ups and downs. So I know that going into it that I should expect some setbacks and some times where you're not going to be, you're not going to be tracking the rest of your life. And I don't want to live like that either. I want it to become a little bit more intuitive, but I definitely think fitness is going to be a part of my life forever. I just really, really like it. And that part was the part that was mostly staying okay. It was that eating part that wasn't. So we'll talk more about that. But one of the things is I went back to weighing myself and went back to trying to measure, and spoiler alert, can't measure. This is my Renfro little tape measure that like automatically will track it in the app. They have an app for it, and you can track all sorts of different body metrics. I think I've shown this in something, but Stella took the back off of it, or broke the back off of it. Don't know what happened to it, and it will not work without the back. So I'm gonna have to either reorder one or contact them and see if I can get a new back. And the other option is maybe it will work without the back, but the battery's dead. So possibly the battery is just dead. I'll have to try a new battery in there and see if I can like duct tape over it. But yeah, totally doesn't work. So I was not able to do beginning measurements for my like re-entry into tracking and keeping track of things again. But anyway, I took my thumbnail with this because it was part of like keeping track of measurements, and seeing the measurements change is a big step of it. Weight is not the only metric, and it should not be the only metric. It's probably the worst metric, because I've seen pictures of ladies where they're like, guess what guys, I'm 10 pounds heavier in this picture. And we're like, whoa, like there's no way you look 10 pounds heavier. You look like 30 or 40 pounds lighter, but it's because they put on a little bit more muscle, and it's just, they're lean, fit and lean. And that's what I want to be. I don't want to be like, yeah, I would like to be thinner, of course. I don't want to look fluffy. I want to fit into clothes comfortably, but I really just want to be toned and fit. I don't want to be squishy and soft, and that's like my main thing. I want to be able to fit in clothes. I don't want to have a muffin top. I don't want to have like squish. I want to be, pretty much firm and, fit looking. I want to look strong, and I'm not there yet. And I was almost there. I feel like I was getting really close to that, and then totally went back up, and I'm almost to my starting point. Like when I sat down and told you guys like, dudes, I'm starting this journey. I started my journey at 187, like officially like, okay, I'm like a year past having Stella. I'm getting my crap together and dropping some weight and getting fit, starting this health journey. Originally, I just did it to try the Apple Fitness thing, and then got into the Peloton, and then like fell in love with everything. So I really love the fitness part of it. But when I first originally started this, I was 187. Well, I saw 185 on the scale, guys. I was shocked. Like, I hadn't really been keeping track. I haven't been weighing myself even every week, and we ended up having a vacation that was almost 2 weeks, and then the week after that I wasn't keeping track of things, and I was like, dang, like I'm pretty disappointed in myself to be like, I was right at 160 and I went all the way back up to 185. That's 25 pounds. And it was just quick. It was like that. It was really eye-opening how quickly it happened, you know, because I was really keeping track of things. And within, I don't know, the last like I would say 3 to 4 months, I went right back up and almost to exactly where I started. And I can see where there's so many statistics out there that say, you know, like, people who lose a bunch of weight within like a year or 2 or 5 years, or however many statistic years they say, people are up higher than they used to be. And I don't want to be that statistic. And I saw that number and I was like, dang it, you know, I felt really bad about it and was really hard on myself at first. Like, you know, like this clearly was me not trying, and it shows some like mental failing on my part to let this happen again. But then I was like, no, this is part of it. This is me learning how quickly, if you don't keep track of it and you start having snacks all the time again, how quickly things can get out of control again. And I found that to be a good lesson. And that's kind of why I wanted to sit down and talk about it and not be like, yeah, I failed, I suck at life kind of thing. I want you guys to see the downswings too. You know, I'm been posting these videos like, guys, I'm like really close to my goal weight. I really kicked butt working out and being stronger and all these things. And I want to show the, you know, the not so happy side too, where it's like, I'm way back almost to where I started from. And I was thinking like, I put all that time and effort into the last like year and a half, and it's all to be almost right back where I was. And I'm not exactly where I was. I'm definitely more toned, but I still have a lot of room to go. So I know a little bit of it is me putting on muscle, but a lot of it is me just gaining back some of the weight. And it's just kind of disappointing, like disappointing having to tell you guys this whole thing and talk about it in this video, but I want to hit some bullet points. I've got like a 4-page list of things to say to you guys. So I really want to make sure I'm hitting all of those, but those are my initial thoughts about it. Like, you know, it sucks. It sucks being back to not being comfortable in my own skin. And that's really like my clothes are fitting tighter. I'm getting more of a muffin top. I've got more of a pooch. They're back super quick. And it's just shocking how quick, you know, it's just shocking. So I haven't been really keeping track all that great the last like probably 3 to 4 months. I haven't been keeping track in MyFitnessPal. And that was a main part of it. It's just like eating, snacking more often, having more sweets, and especially like the crumble cookies. Those things sometimes are like 800 calories, and I'm having like a quarter of one of those a day. That kind of stuff adds up, and I have to be really mindful of that kind of thing if I'm going to continue. I wasn't at maintenance yet. Like I never reached maintenance, like the goal weight and the goal maintenance. I never reached that, and I was acting like I had, and it was a really bad habit to get into. Part of me sitting down and talking to you guys is, one, just keeping it real. You know, these are going to happen, backtracks are going to happen, life's not going to go according to plan, and you're going to have to fight past those. It's easy to be like, oh, I put on all this weight again, what's the point? And just give up. And that's totally not where I went this time. And I'm really proud of myself for like being like, dang girl, I got to get this stuff together. And I started tracking again. I started working out again. I started waking up early again, which is part of my list I'm going to talk about in here. But yeah, especially summer hit and I was not doing all the things. Took vacation and I was like, YOLO, let's eat everything, everything in sight, all the desserts, all the seafood, everything. And that really just adds up so quick. Again, shocking. Like now that I'm tracking again, I'm like, yeah, I was eating way too much. And it's so easy to do too. And like, I'm not even on like super restrictive calories. I'm still at like 18 or 1900 calories. And for me being like pretty active, that's a pretty good place to start. So if I don't see any progress with that, I'll drop down like 100 or 200 more calories, but I'm really trying to maintain around that. That way I'm not like super hungry and it's something that I can maintain. You know, I feel satiated and full on that much, but the first couple of days when you do that, when you're used to like just stuffing your face, it's really hard. Not gonna lie, it's really hard, especially certain times of the month. It gets really hard. So anyway, all that to say, fitness updates are coming. I'm gonna start the pillow chat videos and it'll be like part my update, like, okay, I'm right on track. These are the things that I did this week that help. And then also part Peloton related. So this one today, of course, is going to be just all me talking about backtracking and me getting my crap together again. And again, like in those pillow chat videos, I'll talk about the classes I took, any like noteworthy ones that were really, really good and things like that. And part of this video is to just, I want to share the good, bad, and the ugly. And this is the bad. The bad is I can't be like, yeah, I'm at goal weight and I'm maintenance and I'm kicking butt and I'm getting fit and yeah, I got fluffier again. And that's just disappointing. And there's part of me that wants to be like mopey about it. But then there's also part of me like, I know I can do this. I've done it before and I just need to put the effort in a specific way, be strategic about it and work on body recomp. Part of it is it's not really about the number, it's about the feeling. And I really just don't feel comfortable. You know, I got up a little bit and I've been a little bit down about it because my clothes don't look as good and I'm kind of moping about that part. But I also have noticed even in the last week that I've been back on track that my number has gone down and I've started to feel stronger a little bit more. And it's like my body knows. I definitely have lost a little bit of like the bloatedness. I think they call it inflammation. Like when you eat a bunch of junk food and stuff all the time and a bunch of processed foods, your body gets a little bit inflamed. And I've definitely noticed a little bit of that going down. I feel like I'm not as like swollen and bloated just in the last week because I've been a little bit more careful with what I'm putting into my body. And yeah, I wrote on here, setbacks are definitely learning experiences, and that's totally what I'm taking this as. It was really eye-opening. If I'm not really like engaged and thinking about it, how quickly things will go back. Part of me doing these updates again is keeping myself accountable. You know, I posted these videos like, yeah, things are going great, I'm doing great, and then I stopped posting those updates and then I stopped doing as great. And so I feel like there's that part of it that's like, you know, I want you guys, as silly as it sounds, I want you guys to be proud of me. I want you guys to find my journey motivating, and it can't be motivating if I kind of stink at it. So I definitely want to keep myself accountable, keep things in check, and share that with you guys. Yeah, here's what I wrote, okay? I said, I learned it's easy to stop watching and stop paying close attention, and bam, back right where you were. And that's totally the whole point of this video is like, dang, that happened quick. The other thing I wrote on here is, I guess I didn't think it would happen that fast. And it just did. It happened so fast. And it's like, I was still working out. I wasn't going to the mom group. Gosh, I got really sick with that thing in November and like coughed for like months. It was like 2 straight months of me coughing. I wasn't going to workout group then, and then we got hit with COVID in January. I wasn't going to workout group then, and I started back, I think, in March or beginning of April, and I've really, really enjoyed that. I find it really motivating to have other people like supporting you on and being supportive with them, and it's really motivating to have discussions with them about things and also to work out with other people. I definitely push harder when I'm working out with them. Sometimes when I'm in here all by myself, it's easy to be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit out this 20-second interval. Whereas like if you're in front of a bunch of people, it's a lot harder to be like sitting back when they're all busting their butt. So that's definitely been a helpful thing, having that group back. And one of the things I've read a bunch is just, it's not a linear journey. Like when you set out to lose weight, it's not gonna go like this. I guess for you guys, I'd be like this. It's not going to be linear. It's going to be ups and downs and ups and downs, and you hope the overall trend is going down, and I think that it will. I didn't let myself get further than where I was before, so I really just had this wake-up call when I was hitting the 180s. I was like, you know, I gotta take care of this. So I'm back on track, and I have a list of what I'm doing and I want things I wanted to tell you guys, but first we're doing a drink break. I ended up having a Bloody Mary at some party recently, and it was so good. So I tried to make some at home. I've got my little Bloody Mary here, and I'm not day drinking. There's no alcohol in this. I still got to go pick up one kid and take one other kid to dance later on. So yeah, not day drinking, but just having my little virgin Bloody Mary anyway. So good. It's really, really good. I made it kind of spicy this time, so it's really, really good. But yeah, I had like the best Bloody Mary of my life at this party, and I've been craving one ever since. I'm like, I'm gonna totally go buy all the stuff to make them because it just sounds so good. It's just, you know, tomato juice, but it's just super duper good. It was just so like really limey, and I don't think I've ever had a Bloody Mary that was like really, really limey, and it was just so good. So I made it, tried to make my version of their same one, and it's pretty good. Oh, another thing I learned is I am a happy eater. So I thought like, oh, I eat because I'm bored, and I eat because I'm sad, and I eat around my period because I have all these hormonal feelings. I just like eat my feelings. Well, I also eat my happy feelings because I have been feeling like pretty on top of the world lately. Life's going pretty good, and we had a great vacation. We saw all of our family, and Nana and Papa got to meet Stella for the first time in person, and that was so amazing. And that's part of me, like, getting back on this journey. I'll talk about like mortality a little bit, but just like seeing how well that they're doing. They're in their mid 90s, and seeing them with Stella just warmed my heart so much. And I eat my feelings when I'm happy. I'm like, oh, it's great. We're on top of the world. Let's have cake. We're great on top of the world. Let's go get ice cream. Like, I'm feeling great. And those happy feelings, I gotta keep those reined in too, because the happy feelings will make me eat food too. And I didn't think that. I thought it was like, oh, only when I'm depressed and feeling lazy and feeling down about life, that's when I eat the bag of chips. No, it's like, I'm happy, I'm YOLO. I don't even think about it because I'm on top of the world and super happy, and it bites me in the butt that way too. So I've got to just really be mindful all the way around, just mindful of anything that I put in my mouth. And I've been really bad since Stella doesn't like finish her plate. I've been really bad about taking nibbles off of her plate because I make her good food, guys. Like, she eats really good food, and it's hard to not like take nibbles off her plate instead of like waste all the food. So I've been really more mindful of that. I've been tracking, so it's like anything that I eat goes in the tracker. Even if I'm taking a few nibbles of something, I have to write it down. So that really motivates me to not just snack incessantly, and not snack when the kids snack, and not have dessert every time the kids have dessert, things like that. Just really think about like, am I actually physically hungry, or am I emotionally hungry, or am I just eating to eat? Am I just eating because I have time and I'm bored, and I get into the habit of eating once the kids go to bed? Like, that's my time to eat. I have to be really mindful of that. And yeah, the crumble cookies, huge temptation. They are so freaking good. Like, some of the best desserts I've ever had are crumble cookies. They're just that perfect underbaked cookie, full of calories, full of butter, so delicious. And they're a huge temptation for me. So we're gonna try to lay off those for a while. And I said I will use them as milestone rewards, and like certain ones, if they have, I will go seek those out. But it's actually really good that Crumble's not super close to us, so it's not a huge temptation. I took the app off of my phone so that I don't have the temptation of like seeing them every week and seeing the app on my phone and being reminded of it. So that was a big part of it, is like eating those crumble cookies. We're eating 6 of those cookies a week, and yes, it's between the 4 of us, but that means I'm still having quite a bit of cookies. And when they're somewhere between 400 and 800 calories a cookie, that adds up, and it adds up quick. So I have to be careful about that. I thought that would be milestone rewards. We get the crumble cookies for actual like big events or celebrations, or if they have like one that I gotta have. I still have actually 2 pecan ones frozen in the big freezer, so I have those in case of emergencies. But they'll be used as like milestone things. Like every 10 pounds, we'll go get crumble cookies. I'll know like, okay, we can get crumble cookies when there's a really good week after I hit 10 pounds. It doesn't have to be like exactly when I hit 10-pound marks, but things like that. And I definitely want to have some sort of rewards built into like purchases. Like, I want a new pair of running shoes. I've been seeing these no bull shoes, and they are so pretty. They're actually like strength training shoes, not necessarily running shoes, but like nice sneakers. I have Asics, which are pretty nice, like, I don't know, mid-range shoes, but they're not like the cream of the crop type of shoes. And these Nobles are beautiful, and I have them on my mind. So they are going to be some sort of milestone reward for me. I'm going to earn those shoes by taking care of my body. I'm just drooling over getting a new pair of shoes, and that's going to be a first milestone somewhere. I don't know if it's like when I get back to where I used to be, or something like that, or the first 10 pounds or first 15 pounds down. Something, I don't know. And so switching gears, here's going to be like my game plan moving forward. Obviously rewards, I still have to think about exactly like how I'm going to map them out. That's something I will talk about in future videos, but I definitely want to build some rewards in to make it a little bit more fun. And the main way that I'm doing it, I've been working out. I'm just concentrating a little bit more on how I'm working out, but the main thing is the eating. It really is like 80% diet, 20% exercise. I'm really concentrating on the food aspect of it. And the number one thing is tracking. My FitnessPal was not working for me, so I ended up joining, I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to show the name. Let's see. I'll put it up on the screen. Chronometer, and I really like it. It's free. There is an ad-free version of it if you want that one, but I haven't joined that. I feel like it has everything I want in the free version, and it's great. It shows you the macros. It has lots of different diagrams, and they have a pretty good extensive like food search. So if you have a food that has a barcode, it's pretty easy to find the food on there. I've been weighing food out. Oh, I made zuppa Toscana. I have the recipe on my channel, but I weighed how many potatoes went in it. I weighed how much spinach went in it. I weighed how much or I measured out how much of the milk I put in it, things like that. And then I divided it out when I did my like meal prep, how many containers I got. So I have exactly how many calories each bowl is supposed to be. And one bowl might have a little more in it than the other bowl as far as calories, but it balances out because I'm gonna eat all of them myself anyway. So it was easy to like kind of do a rough calculation and know how much I'm getting. But I really like this app, and I like that it's easy to use, it's easy to read. They have a thing called a daily log, and you can see like your breakdown of everything. You can see your breakdown of proteins and fats. So that I've done before. I've done the tracking, but this one's a little bit better because I'm also adding in macros. I'm not necessarily keeping track of the fats or the carbs, but I'm keeping track of the protein. I'm really trying to hit a certain protein. I want to do some body recomp, which is basically you're losing fat as you're gaining muscle, and doing both at the same time is a little bit slower, and I'm definitely not going to notice the scale move as quickly doing it this way because I'm trying to get fit at the same time as dropping the fat, and that part just makes it go slower. You know, you can lose weight without gaining muscle, and it's a lot easier process because you're just restricting calories. Well, this one I'm restricting calories and upping my protein to be able to try to balance both. And I'm doing that with tracking everything on there, but also being mindful of protein. I'm having some protein bars and some protein shakes here and there instead of snacking on chocolate or donuts or crumble cookies or things like that. I'm snacking on a protein shake. things like that. I'm snacking on a protein bar, choosing different things. And also if I want something sweet, I'm having a peach or a bowl of strawberries. I'm not having cake and cookies and donuts and candies and all that stuff. Just trying to make better choices. And I wrote on here, I'm cutting out the snacking, which is true. I really try not to snack during this time. This is Stella's quiet time. It's so easy for me to grab a snack during that little lull in the day because Olivia will do something independently some of that time. Things like that where I have this lull in the time, and I've done all my chores by this point. I can sit on my butt and do absolutely nothing and snack the whole time if I really want to, and some days I do, and I'm really trying to cut that out. Like snack if I'm actually hungry, bad habit. And same thing happens at night. As soon as the kids go down for bed, I'm like, what can I have? Like there's chips, there's Cheetos, there's all these things I can have. And last night, Johnny and I both had a protein shake. Like that was our snack because we were both like, yeah, I want a little something, but we shouldn't. Like we shouldn't eat a bag of Cheetos. We should be a little bit more adult and have something that's a little bit healthier for us. So we each had a protein shake, and I felt really good about that decision. It was satisfying enough and got me over that like, oh, I really want a snack this evening. It's really just a lot habit. Like if I'm actually hungry, I will eat. Like it doesn't matter what the calorie tracker says. If I'm actually hungry, I will eat. I'm not gonna starve myself. Like that's never gonna happen. But I definitely can make better choices and also cut out snacking when it's just like, I'm bored. That's a lot of what it is, or it's a habit. Like I'm in the habit of eating a snack every evening when I know I don't need it or I don't want it, and dinner is perfectly filling. Yeah, cutting snacking is a huge one for me. And that's really where I think I dropped the most weight the previous times. I love chips, guys. That's like my main weakness. Yeah, back to tracking calories. Oh, and Whole Foods mostly. I do have some things that I scan, but for the most part, like I'm having a really nice Whole Foods lunch. My Zuppa is Whole Foods, and I'm also throwing like peaches or yogurt with it, or carrots, like something else on the side of it. I had a side salad one of the days with my soup, and so it's like all of it was pretty much Whole Foods, and that's where I'm trying to concentrate. It's like concentrate on eating things that are going to help my body and not eat things that are going to just give me empty calories. And like it feels good, the first couple bites feel good, and then after that it doesn't matter. So yeah, just trying to be more mindful, and I definitely will still build in like cheat days or cheat meals here and there. It's just when I want to. I went to a birthday party and I had a piece of birthday cake, like not a big deal. I'm not gonna totally restrict everything. It looked good, I wanted it, and so I had it. Like again, at a party, I had a Bloody Mary and it was great, and I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like a cup. It was like a bowl of Bloody Mary, and it was huge, and I enjoyed it, and things like that. I still want to have balance. I'm still gonna enjoy crumble cookies every once in a while, just not every week. And that was getting to be like every week, and there was one week we had gone like later in the week, and then I wanted to go like first thing in the next week, and we had like 3 cookies left. I'm like, now we have 9 cookies in the house, and it was a lot. So I really have to be more mindful. Basically, this whole video, the whole idea is being more mindful about everything and prioritizing it a little bit more. So yeah, if you want anything to do with meal planning or tracking or macros tracking, or like my ideas for proteins and things like that. I can do a whole video just on food, like what I'm doing to make this work. But that's basically all I want to say in this video. If you guys want more details on that, definitely let me know, and I'd be happy to like walk you through what I'm working on eating and how I tracked everything, how I made my soup recipe, that kind of thing. I could definitely do a video totally dedicated just to that. Again, weight loss is 80% food and 20% working out, so the big majority part of it is food. And if I can control the snacking, which mainly is my weakness, I feel like I'm on the right track with that. So okay, let's switch gears. First, we're gonna have a Bloody Mary break. I love the lime. Okay, so now we are ready to switch gears and talk more fitness, and this is gonna be the more Peloton related part of the video. It's gonna be, I think, a little bit shorter than the rest of the video, but still important nonetheless. So I feel like on the vacation, I was awesome at this. We rented a beach house. It was a 2-level balcony and we were 1 row back. So there's the beach, there's one house, and then there's our house. So we just walk across the street and go straight to the beach, and it was awesome. And I could see the beach and I could see the ocean from the top balcony, like any balcony really, but we were on the top balcony, and I worked out there. Not every morning, but most mornings I worked out in the morning, watched the sunrise a little bit, and it was so nice. And I really, really enjoyed it. On the vacation, of course, I didn't have a bike with me, so I really had to do more strength training things, and I really just fell in love with the hardcore on the floor calendar all over again. Yes, I wasn't eating the greatest on vacation, but I was still prioritizing fitness and prioritizing the strength training. I just really enjoyed it. I thought, wow, you know, this is really fun. I feel myself getting stronger. Even in the just like week and a half we were on vacation, I felt myself getting stronger. And so that's been something I've been incorporating in a lot more, and using the hardcore on the floor calendar. Most of June, I pretty much followed the calendar, not like exactly day to day, but the upper and lower body days, I pretty much did. I moved them around. Like, I moved them around different days to make them work, but I really, really enjoyed using the calendar. I'm totally committed to that now. I really, really enjoy that. And I've been riding my bike since being home, but for a week and a half, I couldn't ride my bike because I didn't have a bike with me. And it gave me a chance to fall in love with strength training again. I had been doing some of the calendar, doing some strength training, but not to this level. This level was me doing strength training most days and taking some rest days, but I really, really like that, and that's what I plan on continuing to prioritize. I still am using the bike a lot. Most days I still get on the bike at least like 20 minutes, but not to the extent where I'm like working out 30 minutes on the bike and then I'm done for the day. I tend to do the calendar and then ride the bike if I have extra time, or if I have extra energy to burn, then I'll ride the bike. Most days that's how it works out, and I really, really like that. So for now, I'm trying to do 2 upper body strength days and 2 lower body strength days, and I just follow the things on the calendar. It seems like 1 week a month, it's a repeat of a week previous in the month, and for that week I will go back through and mark off classes I haven't hit yet, or just pick my own, because I don't like doing the repeats. I'm not like keeping track of reps. That's part of why she repeats it, is like to see your progress, and I just don't like repeating them. I like to come up with new ones. So I find that I just make up my own that week pretty much, but otherwise I follow the calendar and try to just hit as many of the classes off the calendar as I can. And then I'm also building in 1 Pelofondo day. I'm still doing Pelofondo. I'm not going to do 100 miles this time. I'll talk more about Pelofondo in a different Pelo chat video coming up, but I'm definitely still doing it. It's near the end of the month this month, I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to try to hit 60 something miles. That's 2 upper body days plus 2 lower body days plus 1 Pelofondo day, and then I'm building in 2 rest days as well. So it tends to be like Wednesday, Thursday, one of those days, and also Sunday. Like Sunday's just a nice rest day, getting the week started again. Really commit to doing the hardcore calendar. Since being home, I've really just had my stack ready and done it really well, especially this last week. A lot of the time since being home, I would still do the workouts, but it wouldn't be like setting the alarm first thing in the morning, getting it done. It would be like around the kids playing. I would sneak in a 10 or 20 minute class here and there, and then also at nap time I'd do it. And also I was doing some after they went to bed, and I'm like, this is just not working for me. I feel way better committing to doing it in the morning. So that's what I'm doing now, is I'm just committing. I'm gonna wake up, get them done in the morning. And then also on the lower body days, I do a bar challenge. I just found it on one of the Facebook groups and I really like it. It's called Hannah's Booty Burn or something like that. Super duper cute. And then for the upper body days, I'm doing, for the arms and light weights, I'm doing a 2-day challenge. So instead of whatever one's on the calendar, I will do the arms and light weights that's on the Tune Day challenge thing. Gosh, it's like basically a year's worth of Tune Day challenges for that. So that's where I stick with the arms and light weights, but I follow the other classes on the calendar for the most part. So yeah, following the hardcore on the floor calendar is a big part of my fitness right now. And also I'm doing the mom exercise group. They work out Monday through Friday, but I've never committed to doing Monday through Friday. I really am trying to hit most days now. I usually would do like 2 to 3 days a week, and now I'm trying to do 4 to 5 days. So I think I'm gonna do tomorrow off because my arms are just dying. Oh, it was so funny. So yesterday I did an arms, like full arms stack on the Peloton from the hardcore on the floor calendar, and then went to mom's group a little while later and it was all arms. So it was so much arms yesterday. I was so sore, and like even today, like lifting my arms up, I'm like, oh, they're kind of sore and achy. So I think tomorrow's gonna be my built-in rest day. So I really try to go to that group most days now, and especially like the kids love it, all their friends are there, and it's a really fun time. And I'm also trying to fit in some yoga. So the days I'm feeling like not doing a full stack or something, but I still want to do a little bit of fitness, I'll throw in some yoga, or at the end I'll throw in a yoga as a stretch, or sometimes I'll throw in a yoga at the beginning as a warm-up. It just really depends. I'm trying to hit yoga a few times a week. I was doing really good about doing yoga most days, and then just haven't done it. And then another big part of this journey is prioritizing sleep. That's where I feel like I was getting kind of burnt out about everything, is I just wasn't sleeping good. And I have these times where I toss and turn and wake up multiple times a night, and I just don't feel like I get restorative sleep. And there are some nights I sleep like a baby all the way through the night, sleep great. It just ebbs and flows for me as far as like sleep goes. And I know it's probably hormone driven. I feel like definitely I'm going through like a second puberty. My hormones have been changing. So I'm going to be going to the doctor and making sure everything's okay as far as that goes. I just hit mid-30s, so I don't know if it's just something that I'm going through because I'm just getting a little bit older and things change in your body over time. So I'm just gonna make sure we're ruling things out and making sure everything's okay, but it definitely affects my sleep. Like having night sweats and hot flashes definitely will affect my sleep. So I'm just really trying to get to bed on time. Peloton sleep meditations really help with that too. As soon as I get in bed, I turn that on, and sometimes I don't hear the end of it. It's like, it's a 10-minute thing and I pass out. So that's a really helpful thing. And also, since it is summertime, I have the luxury of being able to sleep in a little bit more because the kids are sleeping in. Okay, so random UPS came and it was Squishmallows. I don't know if you guys know, they're these big like fluffy stuffed animals. My girls are obsessed with them. We have tons of them, and we also give them for birthday parties. So I had to order a few for some birthday parties coming up, and I did not realize Costco.com had tons of them. So I ordered a bunch of them for the girls too. I just shoved these giant boxes up in the top of our closet. They're for future birthday present gifts and also future gifts for our kids. So I just ordered a ton of them, and then they put the Hello Kitty like giant ones. I think they're like the 24-inch ones. They put those ones on sale. So I ordered a couple more as well. So our closet's full of boxes now. Basically for any holiday, they get Squishmallows now. They're just like taking over upstairs, but they love them. And I was inviting somebody over recently. We're having a play date coming up soon, and their whole family's coming over and we're gonna barbecue. But she said something like, yeah, I'm excited that you're gonna host because the kids love your stuffed animals. It's like, it's the Squishmallow house. Such a weird thing, but yeah, Costco.com, if you're looking for Squishmallows, they've got good prices and also tons of selection lately. They've just been really killing it with their Squishmallow game. Anyway, back to where I was. Sleep priority, big time, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. Like, I'm just prioritizing food, tracking everything, doing the hardcore on the floor calendar, some writing, of course. I really enjoy that part of it. I'm just back to basics. Like, I know how to get the job done. It's not a miracle cure. It's not an overnight cure. I know everybody wants that magic bullet or that magic pill, and it just doesn't exist. You know, it's freaking hard work and definitely mind games sometimes. Like, you know, I really just want to eat 20 cupcakes, but I know it's not good for me. I know I'll feel like crap afterwards. I need to rein it in and maybe have one cupcake if I really want a cupcake, or nothing at all if I'm just trying to feed some need that's not a food need. You know, a lot of it is totally mental, and that's part of it. It's just like being mindful of my own struggles with that. I'm also going back to something I've never done before, which is daily weigh-ins. So I ended up reading a book, and I talked about this in my July stack video quite a bit because I have a journal that I'm going to write it in. I'm going to do daily weigh-ins, just every morning weigh myself so I can see the fluctuations and not let it get to me. Lately, just seeing the number go up has been really getting to me, and This way I know like I will be on track, even though it goes up a little bit here and there. It's not a big deal. Fluctuations are gonna happen, and I can just get past that mental part of it. Like you see it go up and you're like, dang it, it's a horrible feeling. Even though it could be just water weight, it could just be that time of the month. There's lots of reasons why it goes up that are not like, you don't gain 2 pounds of fat in a day, you know, it's just for various reasons. So it's not a big deal, but I read a really good book. I think it's called The Resistance Training Revolution or something like that. I'll insert it in the description box down below. It's a really good book, and it said a lot of things they already knew, but a lot of new things as well, and it really dumbed things down and explained like why certain things are so important, why whole foods are important, why resistance training is number one. Talking about how people who do resistance training can live longer because their muscles are stronger, their bones are stronger, they resist a lot more fractures, where that's a big problem when you get older, is your bones get more brittle. Well, if you strength train, your bones stay pretty dang healthy just because of the muscles helping the bones stay healthy, and it tells the bones keep the calcium and things like that. So it's really important for just longevity reasons. The book had a lot of information like that, and it really helped me see the bigger picture, that it's not just like, just not a number on a scale, not just getting my pants to fit nicer. It's a whole lifestyle thing that I want to maintain, and I feel really strongly about this because of family things that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. It's like my last bullet point, and I'm going to save it to the end because I may get a little bit weepy with it. I'm trying to avoid really talking or thinking about it yet, but part of it is I want to freaking live forever and I don't want to have issues. So yeah, oh, I talked about like, I just hit 35, so my hormones are going to make it a little bit harder to do this. So I really have to get it together and keep moving my body because I am not getting any younger. I wrote on here, I'm not getting any younger. But yeah, okay, we're going to get into the hard part. So again, said trigger warning in the beginning. There's another trigger warning talking about family member death. And again, not for kids. Yeah, my Aunt Rhonda died in March, and that was a big part of me struggling. You know, it's a person that's really important. She was like a second mom to me. I grew up with a single mom, and this was my mom's best friend. She wasn't blood, but she was, might as well have been. I knew her my whole life. I'm gonna get choked up. It's still really hard knowing that she's not there. We went to Dallas for Olivia's last dance competition, and she wasn't there. She wasn't there to watch. She wasn't there to hang out in our hotel room. We weren't able to go to her house. All the things that we got to do at a previous dance competition, and that was really hard. And she had come visit and stayed in a hotel because my mom was staying in our guest room. We just didn't have another room for her, so she stayed in a hotel. And one day I was driving to the grocery store and had to pass this hotel, and all of a sudden it just hit me all over again. Like, she's really gone. And I started bawling in the car. I was taking the kids to the grocery store, just bawling about it, thinking about like, she's not there. And it really hits close to home because she's the same age as my mom. I have a bad thing in my family where my family members don't live very long. My grandparents both died while I was pregnant with Olivia, and they were not that old. They were not old enough to pass. Kind of crazy. And it just goes to show like what decisions you make in your life really affect your outcome sometimes. And of course, accidents happen, things happen, crazy stuff happens in the world. I'm not saying you can avoid death at all costs, but you can really help give yourself more chances to live longer. And that's what I really want to do. You know, I want to be there for my grandkids. My grandparents never got to see their great grandkids. You know, that's sad. That's sad that they went younger than they should have gone. And it's sad that Rhonda's not here to watch Stella grow up and watch Livy grow up. You know, I thought she would be. And like, losing her puts it in perspective. Like, you know, my mom's her same age. Johnny's parents are a little bit older than my parents just by a touch. And they're all getting a little old, and what they have chosen to do will help determine how long we all live. So that is a really motivating factor for me. Is like, I don't want to die young. I just don't. And I know that my grandparents went that way, my aunt went that way, and it's just something I don't want to do. And part of it is, I grew up in poverty. My family is from poverty, like deep South, really dirt poor, deep South Mississippi. And they grew up poor. And so part of it is they're from this extreme poverty level. They're, you know, in survival mode. They're not up on a higher tier of the hierarchy of needs. You know, their needs are basic needs like paying the bills, getting food on the table. Doesn't matter what that food is. They're just getting the food on the table. And sometimes with government assistance. I'm not knocking any of that. Like, I'm grateful that my family did as well as they did. They took care of my mom, they took care of me. I'm just from that cycle of poverty. And so, you know, they're just not thinking about like, oh, I want to ride my Peloton. You know, it's just not something that was even on their radar. You know, exercise, not on their radar. Surviving is on their radar. So I don't knock them or judge them for anything. They did what they could with what they had. And I know I have better resources than that, and I have a little bit more knowledge than that, and I have all of the tools at my fingertips, and I have no excuse. Like, I am not in poverty, and I don't have to just merely survive. I want to thrive, and part of it is taking care of my health and fitness. Seeing how they ran their lives and things weren't priorities for them, and seeing how it really affected them. A lot of drinking, a lot of smoking. So I just want to make better choices than that. Try to just do as good as I can and live as long as I can. You know, I want to see grandchildren. I would love to see great-grandchildren. I would love to see great-great-grandchildren. Anyway, that part's a really near and dear part, you know, losing a family member at 61, probably health-related stuff. That's heartbreaking. But she just went too young, and part of that's like, I don't want that to be me as much as I can help it. So that's part of the motivation for me too, is to just get my stuff together and not lead down that path. Obesity runs in my family, probably runs in a lot of our families, because a lot of people are obese in our country, especially in the United States. Tons of people are obese, and I don't want to be that statistic. So I'm just trying to do better. I know better, I can do better. And it's one of those things, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the resources in the world, you can have all the motivation, the personal trainers, but this is something you have to do yourself. Like, nobody can do this part for me. And that's where I'm seeing like how bad I am. Like, on the inside, I can do this. I've done this before. I'm gonna continue and do better. And I said, this is like a hiccup on the path. I know that I can do it, and I know I'm strong enough to do it. And already, like, I could do push-up intervals recently, and I felt so awesome being able to do that, where I could not do that before. Gosh, a year and a half ago, I couldn't really do any push-ups. I'm still on my knees, but I can still like kneel up and down and do some push-ups, and I couldn't do that before, and I'm not having to drop weights very often. I'm able to keep up a lot of times in class. There's still times I drop weights, there's still times I skip an interval here and there, but for the most part, I'm getting stronger every day, and that's what I want to continue to do. Drop some weight because I want to not be so fluffy. Honestly, I'd like to not be so fluffy. That's really like the whole long spiel, the good, bad, and ugly, and the getting on track. And I'm really excited to take you guys along on this with me. Like I said, I'm going to talk things next week as well. I'm gonna really try to sit down. I put it in, gosh, I haven't talked to you guys in so long. I feel like I have so much to say, but I started using this Habit app. Habit. It's just called Habit, and it's really awesome too. I've been keeping track, but one of my things on here is film pillow talk for next week. I have it on here as one of my habits. It's filming my pillow chat, pillow talk video. Anyway, that is enough rambling. I would love to know one thing that you're doing to take care of your health today. So just let me know in the comments down below what your one thing is for today. And that's it. So be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe so you can follow me along. I'll have another pillow talk, pillow chat video for you guys next week. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye.